Whoa. There we go. Just open up the chat. Hey everyone. Nice to see you all arriving live. We've just surpassed 600 participants. Amazing to see you all. Welcome aboard. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to Angel Cards Essentials. It's your boy Kyle Gray coming to you, reporting to you live from Glasgow, just outside Glasgow. I live in a place called Bears Den. And I'm really thrilled to be here. I actually just got back from a little holiday. I just got back last night around 9 p.m. I was in California for the last 10 days. So I'm feeling super refreshed, super excited to be spending my return to work day with all of you. And I can see many of you tuning in. We've got Holland in the house, Denmark. I saw Portugal, Bolivia, Dominican Republic, Canada, India, Minnesota, the Netherlands are here. California in the house, Winnipeg, Detroit, more Portugal, Fort Worth in Texas, Holland, Ontario, Canada, Crieff, I'm guessing Crieff in the UK, Brooklyn, New York, Nashville, Pittsburgh, Florida, gosh, more and more and more, Wisconsin, so many other places. Some people use the US state codes and I don't know them all off by heart. Denver, Colorado, Nova Scotia, Chester in the UK, San Jose, California, Cape Town, South Africa, Oregon, Suffolk, New Jersey, Vancouver, Arizona, Miami, Somerset in England, one of my favorite places on the planet, Burnaby, BC, Norway, Utah, Germany, Liverpool in the UK, more Germany, Hamburg, Sweden. Goodness, thank you all so much for being here live. Welcome to Poland, Botswana, New Delhi, India, St. Louis. I can see all your comments coming in. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Angel Cards Essentials. My name is Kyle Gray. It is such an honor and such a pleasure to be sharing this space. There's over 800 people live right now. This is going to be a live interactive workshop on how to work with angel cards. I'm going to be showing you some of the essential skills that you need in order for you to have an enriched connection with your angels and also for you to receive guidance from heaven in all aspects of your life. And just a little bit about me, if we haven't had the opportunity to spend that much time together, for the last 13 years, I have dedicated my energy, my focus, and my time to creating all different products, books, and card decks to support other people having a direct spiritual connection with their angels. I genuinely believe that all of us hold it within us to have a direct connection. Many people in the earlier days of my career, I started as a columnist in the Scottish Sun newspaper a long time ago when I was 20 years old. And so many people back then, called me the angel whisperer, and they would always speak about my gifts and my talents. And the biggest challenge that I had back then was this idea of people making me out to be special, making me out to be the gifted one. And I always had this kind of tug of war between helping people connect through private sessions and also finding it really difficult because not wanting people to see me as something more sacred or more special than them. When I speak to the angels, one of the key messages that I receive from them is that we are love, and love has forgotten no one. So we've all come from the same source of love, and to that same place we will all return um, to that sacred space. And for that reason, I believe that that power and that presence renders us in the same way. It holds us all in the same light. So therefore, none of us can be more sacred or more special than the other, because we've all come from heaven, because we'll all return to heaven. Therefore, it is within our spiritual right to be able to have that direct connection to heaven. And instead of me kind of hanging up my wizard cloak and wand for life, I realized that the reason I was so talented in helping people receive messages through me, and the reason I was so talented at being able to give people, insight and predictions and messages from the other side, was so that I could then eventually show other people how to do that. So I realized that my gift isn't actually in being able to do it for people. My gift is actually in being able to show other people how to do it for themselves. And so these live trainings, these free live trainings especially, are really a call to action for me. I feel that your angels want to get in touch with you. Your angels want to give you messages. They want to help you with all aspects of your life, and taking time to listen to them is the biggest challenge that you will face. The reason I love angel cards so much, the reason I love working with these decks, is because they create this bridge between the realms. They give us something to focus on. They give us an energy, something to lean on, kind of like a springboard when someone's learning how to do acrobatics, or when they're learning to dive. Something to kind of give them that extra lift so that they can eventually do it for themselves. So when I first started, it all kind of kicked off for me when I first came to angel cards. I remember, watching all of the psychics and the mediums on TV, all of the famous mediums who were out there, none of them really used cards. None of them really used anything when they were out there. If they're on stage in front of a large audience or a large group, they were just like channeling and just bringing it all through directly. And I remember from very early on, when I first kind of started to join meditation groups and go to spiritualist meetings and learn about, psychic phenomena, that many people were discouraging me kind of using cards. They were discouraging it because it made you kind of weaker, or not as strong, or not as trusting in your gift. And I remember like feeling so torn, because I developed a fascination really with angel cards. And I also realized that it wasn't just a tool for me as the channeler, as the medium. It was also something for the people who I was doing the reading for. Like, there was a comfort in being able to see these messages of positivity, of light, of hope on the table in front of them. But not only that, the pictures, the messages were comforting, but they were also something to kind of pass the time, help us see things in front of us, and something for me to lean on and point out, so that those who were receiving a reading could get something, and lean on something, and also maybe have a photograph to take home and kind of remind them of the time that we have together. So When I first started wanting to connect with angels, the biggest challenge that I had was not with anything other than receiving. I couldn't see, I couldn't hear. I could feel like something was there, but I never really knew where to go from. And I found that angel cards created something that was missing for me. And I think it was, well, I'll tell you what the thing was missing. When I tried to do a meditation and ask my guardian angel for their name, nothing would come through. When I tried to see my aura in the mirror, I could sometimes see a little bit of light, but nothing more. And I was always like, why can't I see the angels? Why can't I hear the angels? Like, what is going on? And I could never quite get there. And then angel cards came along, and I would pick cards for myself and I would, get a message or read the message and be like, okay, maybe it means this, maybe it means that. But the real magic with angels really began when I started to do readings for other people. The biggest aha moment happened when I was just 15 years old. It was August time. I remember the night so clearly because my mum was invited to her friend Margaret's house for a barbecue. And we were going up there, and it was kind of like one of those barbecues where it's a potluck and everyone brings something to share. And my thing to share was going to be angel cards. My mum would be making, I think she probably made her at the time famous tuna fish pasta. She does the tuna in a kind of tomato based sauce. And yeah, I remember that so clearly. And we were going to Margaret's house for this barbecue, and we were sitting outside, and she lived in a block, like with other neighbors, but it was like communal garden with benches. And we were all sitting outside, and Margaret's friend from work was coming along with his boyfriend, so a gay couple. And there was other people there, and everyone was going to get a mini angel reading from me. And I had been doing it from February to August, practicing doing readings and watching TV shows like John Edwards and James Van Prague and all the things, and Most Haunted, trying to learn everything about the psychic phenomena. I really always wanted to go and do like an angel training, but at the time they were around $4,000, and I couldn't afford it as 15. I was still in school. So here I am, I'm set up at this barbecue, and everyone's going to receive a reading from me that night at some point. And I had no idea what I was doing. And all of the readings would go something along the lines of, you put your hands on the cards, I put my hands on the cards with you. We just think about, anything that you'd like help with. Then we pick some cards and I tell you what they mean. And at the time, I was average at reading them. Let me be honest. I would say this card means this and that card means that. But I wouldn't really know how to place it. And I didn't really have the psychic knowledge or the life skills to kind of put the reading together. So I did the first guy from the couple, and he thought it was all right. And then the second reading was the reading that changed my life forever. And I remember the cards were on the table like this, and I had my hands on top of his hands, and he already thinks I'm weird because I'm holding his hands on top of these cards. We're outside, and it's a beautiful summer's night, and I'm in my head saying the prayer that every psychic has probably prayed for since the beginning of time. I'm like, if the angels are here, please let me be accurate. Please let me receive a message, like really trying my hardest to kind of get in the zone. And then all of a sudden, I started to feel this temperature change in my body. I got really warm, fuzzy. And it was almost like, oh, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it now. All my hair stood on end. and I could feel a presence here. And then I started to hear music in my mind's eye, or in my ears, sorry, but like in my mind. And I could hear the song Survivor by Destiny's Child, and it was going, I'm a survivor, singing in my head. So I say to the guy, can you hear that music? And he's like, hear what music? And I was like, I can hear Destiny's Child Survivor in my mind, and it feels like it's a message for you. So I had been watching Most Haunted and all those shows, as I had mentioned. And in those shows, they would be like, if a spirit is here, show yourself. And so I closed my eyes and I thought, okay, this is an angel I'm trying to deal with here. So I'm going to be a little bit more positive. I'm going to say, if there is an angel present, thank you for revealing your presence to me. So instead of, the way they did it on those shows, be a little bit more gracious about it. And I said, if there's an angel present, thank you for revealing your presence to me. I opened up my eyes, and before I knew it, there was a pinpoint of light coming towards me, but it was from behind the sky. And before I knew it, there was a large figure of light, a column of light to the left-hand side of this man. And the angel, is the only way I can describe it, goosebumps again, is looking not just at me, but almost into me. I can only describe it like there was nothing to hide. There was nothing to hide behind. This angel knew everything, everything. And I hear a voice, and the angel says, tell this man that he is a survivor. So I then say, there's an angel standing beside you right now, and it wants you to know that you are a survivor. And he then says, what do you mean I'm a survivor? I then say, it feels to me like you've tried to leave your body or leave the earth at some point, and there is a purpose and a reason that you are being kept here. You are a survivor. The guy freaks out and he kind of like throws his hands up and says, I've had enough, I've had enough, I've had enough. And he like closes the party pretty much. Later on that night, the angel just disappears into thin air. Later on that night, my mum gets a phone call, and it turns out that this man had been touched by the message that I received that day. And he also was astounded by, my accuracy without knowing anything about him. It was the first time I'd ever met him in my life. I'm this weird gothic kid, still in high school, telling him about, a guardian angel and the reason for his life. But it turns out he'd actually tried to take his own life several times. And every time he did so, something stopped it from happening. There was this like chain of miraculous events that saved his life. And here I am, this kid with no knowing, receiving a message to tell him that there is a purpose for his life. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about this because there's many, many parts to this. And the reason I'm bringing this to your attention is that angels will only come to us when we're ready. And I want to put your mind at rest that if you are afraid of having a spiritual experience or seeing an angel, they will only come to you from invitation. So the angel knew I was ready, and the angel heard my invitation to say, if there is an angel here, thank you for revealing your presence. So if you have any apprehension about learning to work with angel cards or go deeper with your spiritual studies, I want you to know that you will always be ready. I also want you to know that when that angel appeared, there was an intense warmth and love. I knew this was an angel of God. I could feel God with the angel. It was almost like God and the angel were one. Like as the angel spoke, God was speaking through the angel. As you know, I connected with the angel, I was in touch with a part of God. It was pure love and light. And so when you work with angel cards, you call upon the highest form of light. No fear can be present. No darkness comes in. Only light, only love. And these beings are unified with God in all ways, in all spaces. No darkness can get in. It's almost like a bubble of light um, is created around you. But the biggest reason that I was able to receive that angel that day was because it wasn't for myself. That's why I teach people to read angel cards. I teach people to read angel cards to share angels with others. Because when you actually learn to share angels with others, you receive them for yourself. This is the most important thing I will ever teach you today. Even if you don't want to be an angel card reader, even if you don't want to be someone who channels messages for other people, even just sharing them with your grandkids or your nieces or your nephews or your loved ones or your workmates, I want you to know that the way you open up your connection to angels is through the energy of service. Even if you are feeling helpless, when you move into a helpful state, you actually become helpable. Like, it's really important to hear this. So when you want to open up your connection to angels, the biggest asset to you on your journey is going to be in the service of other people. It's going to be in the sharing of angels with other people. So even if you want to ask your angels to help you with something, and it could be just like a trivial thing, or it could be like healing a life-threatening issue that you have in your world, praying for someone else first before praying for yourself actually creates what I call the law of divine compensation. And through your positive actions, thoughts, and intentions for someone else, you actually create this divine compensation for you to be supported. So that's a really exciting topic to kind of bring in. I must say, by the way, that you're all here. I believe that our webinar capabilities are full. So we've got 1,000 participants and no other people can be here live. So if you are here, know that you are supposed to be here right now. You're supposed to be in this room. You made it. You're part of this 1,000-person capacity that we hold on Zoom. And I know that there's over 300 people in the wait room trying to get in. So well done for being here right now. I wanted to jump over to a little PowerPoint that I prepared for you all because I want to share with you the best of angel cards, and I want you to feel supported on your journey to working with angel cards. And today I'm also going to be answering some of your questions later on in the angel cards journey. But I want to just say one thing I wanted to go back to earlier on. To the point that I shared the story from the beginning of my journey into the point of receiving that angel that day, I believe that the reason I was able to intuit that angel, receive that angel, see that angel, and connect with that angel was because I was ready. It was also because I was in the energy of service, and service magnetizes the presence of angels towards us. Like, that's the other thing. The biggest challenge, though, that I had with angels to that point was I was trying something, and I was trying to see the angels through someone else's eyes. This was the message that I received. I remember asking the angels, until now, why was I not able to see angels? And the angel said, because you were trying to see angels through someone else's eyes. At that point on my life and on my journey, the only angel cards that I had come across were by two different people. There was a deck by Diana Cooper and a deck by Doreen Virtue. You've probably all heard of those two characters, those two authors. I know Diana, and I loved those cards, but there was a problem to this point was that all the cards that I'd come across never looked like everyone I was meeting. The cards only looked like one type of person, and I'm sure you'll agree that the majority of angel cards in the earlier days, they were all blonde-haired, blue-eyed angels with six-pack abs. They all looked like they were, emerging from the water and with a surfboard in the west coast of California. And I remember when I pitched my first Oracle deck back in 2013, my intention was to create diversity amongst angels. Because what I had found was that no matter who you are, and no matter where you come from, no matter the color of your skin, it all matters. But at the same time, in the angel's eyes, you are worthy. Everyone has an angel. No one has been forgotten. I had seen some of the brightest, shiniest, sparkliest angels when I was walking through a temple in India. I see angels with people as they emerge from the mosque or from any temple. I see angels in churches. I see angels standing with druids and pagans. I see angels with tribal people. I do not believe anyone has been forgotten. And so if you are wanting to experience angels, know that they have many shapes and sizes, and they come to us in many forms. Some of us are going to see 6'5" blonde-haired and blue-eyed hotties, and others are going to just see little sparkles of light. Some of us might not see anything at all. We might smell a fragrance. We might just feel a warmth. But however you experience angels is sacred, and never wish for anything different. The most sacred way for you to connect with the angels is the way that feels real and authentic for you. So back to angel cards. The most important thing that you're going to learn today is this. The cards aren't the magic, you are. So this is probably what they call reverse marketing. I teach people to read angel cards for a living. I create angel cards for a living, but it's important to hear this. The cards are not the magic, you are. In fact, do you know what the cards are? They're mirrors. Cards are mirrors. They are mirrors of your magic. Whenever you pick a card, even though the card might depict a beautiful angel, the card might bring you an accurate message or an insight. The magic that allowed that to happen is inside you. It's inside your soul. And when you engage with angel cards, either as the person receiving the reading or the person conducting the reading, they are mirroring back to you magic that you hold within. You are the magic. And so these are merely a tool, a beautiful one at that, a tool that can support us diving deep, a tool that can help us unleash and unlock messages that we need. And this is the biggest question you will receive from me as a tool when you're working with your angel cards. So write this down. What do I need to know? How many people here have an oracle deck who have picked an angel card and they've not liked what the card has said and they've tried again. So they like put the card back in and then they go, oh, it's not really the answer I was looking for. It's not really the truth. No, I was kind of hoping to pick the Archangel Michael card today. And you put it back in and you try again. And then the reading just gets even more shittier. You know, the reading the reading just does not make sense. And if it didn't make sense in the first place, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And you're trying again and you're trying again. And at this point, you don't know if you're coming or you're going. So, one of the most important things is this: your angels are dedicated to the energy of truth and integrity. One of the pillars of the angelic vibration is the energy of authenticity. And whether we like it or not, our angels will always tell us what we need to know rather than what we want to know. And in order for you to continually building upon the relationship with your angels through angel cards, you have to establish this energy of trust between you and your angels. And so if you're like constantly trying again, the angels are like rolling their eyes, you know, in the clouds. They're like, oh my goodness, there they go again, trying again, trying again. Now, let's be frank here. Angels are not judgmental, and they aren't actually rolling their eyes in the clouds, but I want you to know that it's kind of like asking a friend for guidance or their opinion on something and then not taking it anyway. It's like, how many times do we ask a friend, do we like the red dress or the black dress or the blue shirt and the red shirt? And then we never take their guidance anyway. So someone just called it an ask hole. That's hilarious. So yes, we want to be establishing a relationship based on truth and integrity, one that we are willing to listen. And so the angel prayer that I use before I pick angel cards is this: thank you, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know. I am willing to listen. It's the most powerful prayer I've ever used in my life. Thank you, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know. I am willing to listen. And this prayer, and we're going to do it together, really tunes us in. Just like saying it just shifts the energy. It changes the vibration and it puts us in a willing state for our angels to impart to us knowledge, guidance, and support. So we'll do this together as we work our way through the journey. Now, this is the most important thing. I keep saying that about every slide, so it's all important. But this here, reading in context, I'm going to tell you all, then we're going to do it, and then we're going to speak about it. This is what's going to change your readings. When we pick angel cards, there's actually a context that's happening. And the context of a reading is revealed through a spread or dependent on if it's one card or more. So reading in context is about learning to uncover the meaning behind a card. It's about learning to figure out what the angels are trying to say. And it's what really differentiates between someone who's dabbling and someone who's reading. So when an angel card comes through, your first card, this is what you need to know. The first card is always a strength, right? So when you're picking angel cards, when you pick an angel card, the first card that you see, it represents a strength. Now, I remember my first angel decks, there was always a card that pissed me off back then, excuse me, my language. that pissed me off because it was called body care. And back when I was a little bit younger, I was struggling with, overeating, obesity, and exercise. And whenever I would say to my angels, thank you for revealing to me what I need to know, I would always pick this one card that said body care. And it was like the angels being like, you know, looking after your body. And so from very early on, I always felt like the angels were like basically saying to me, you need to get your act together. And I would often pick this card when I'd actually be trying to make a difference. When I realized that angels are about small wins. Angels are about celebrating us. Angels are about love and positivity and encouragement. And I realized that the body care wasn't coming up because it wasn't what I was doing. It was what I was doing. And the angels were bringing to my attention a strength that I had. So when you pick a card and it says something like forgiveness or intention or manifestation, the angels are actually bringing to your attention what you have right now. So if you get the forgiveness card, the angels are saying, hey, we're high-fiving you for your dedication to forgiveness. You have been intentionally working on the forgiveness energy. You've been intentionally working on forgiving others or forgiving yourself or forgiving that situation that you know is holding you anchored in the past. So when you pick a card, the first card that you pick is always what you have. It's what you've either already healed, what you're working on healing, and your angels are bringing to your awareness, to your attention, what is a strength that you have. And that could always be, really challenging. So here's a brilliant question from Miriam Goodman, who says, what if the strength card is yes or no? So if the strength card is yes, a yes card, in my Angel Guide Oracle, we have two cards, a yes and a no. If your strength is yes, it means your strength is that the fact that you are a yes person and you are saying yes to the things you want to say yes to. Your angels are celebrating you saying yes. And the same goes for no. Your angels are celebrating you for saying no. So the first card you always pick is your strength. It's what you hold. Sylvia says, what if my strength is guardian angel? Well, the guardian angel card is your strength is your guardian angel at this time. Your strength is the fact that you were taking time, energy, focus to developing a relationship with your guardian angel at this time. The strength card is representative of what you have. So your guardian angel at that time, when you pick it, is closer than they have ever been, ever. So the first card is always your strength. It's what you've been dedicated to. It's what you've been focusing on. It's what you've been doing maybe unconsciously, but it's flowing through you. And the last card is always a challenge. So when I'm picking cards, I recommend a minimum of 2 cards at all times. The first card is your strength, and the second card is your challenge. It's like what you need to fix, what you need to heal. So it's the thing that's on your mind or not. It's the thing that needs your attention. It's the thing that you've not dealt with yet. It's the thing that requires your focus. So the first card is what you've got, and the second card is what you don't have. So it doesn't matter if you're doing an 8-card spread, a 10-card spread, a 12-card spread. The first card is always your strength. The last card is always your challenge. That's the thing that needs to be worked on. And if you want to improve it by 3 cards, the first card is your strength. The middle card is a message from your heart, like what's on your heart. And the last card is a challenge. So these are the most important things that you learn when you are working with angel cards. So really think of when you're doing readings, and I'm going to go through this with you with some of the cards just to help you get into it. Um, I've got the Angels and Ancestors Oracle here. I'm going to show you a card from this. This is the Heart Guardian. So there's a number of angels and guardians inside this deck. 12 guardians, and the Heart Guardian is the angel of the heart, and it was inspired by the Sacred Heart, Mary Magdalene. And the card is love and let yourself be loved, right? So say this first card is your strength. This means that your strength is the fact that you are letting love in. It could probably mean that the person who's receiving the reading has blocked love for a long time, not let love in, not let love come to themselves, not loved themselves, And now, as it's their strength, they're finally letting the presence and the power of love in. If this card is in the middle section of a reading, the second card, which is the heart, it means that your heart is really calling out for love. It's really calling out for you to let love in and let love be yours. Your heart is calling for love, and it's on your heart. And even if you're not able to acknowledge it, there's a deeper need for love inside of you. I'm seeing your questions. I'm going to answer these as we go. I'm teaching you as we go. So try not to skip the process with me. Stay with me. The final card, if this same card was in the challenge center of a reading, it means that you are blocking it completely. You're not letting love in. You're not letting yourself love. You're completely avoiding it in all cases. So if it's your strength, you've nailed it. It's coming in. If it's your heart, you're calling for it, even if you're not willing to admit it to yourself. And if it's in your challenge, you're avoiding it completely. Now, that is key, because when people are doing readings, they just think the card is at face value. So if the card says love and let yourself be loved, it might not make sense in a reading because it's in a random place, and maybe that section represents your career or your purpose, like what's going on if it lands in a certain place. And so your job when you're doing readings, either for yourself or for others, is to be able to put the card in context and read it accordingly. So let me tell you this. If the card is upside down, a reversed card, I call this a screamer. So I teach this a little bit differently. In traditional tarot, when people receive a reversal, a traditional tarot reading reversed would be a reversed meaning, the opposite of what the card means. If you're reading any of the oracle cards that I've created, and I've created 11, you've not met them all yet. I believe there's 9 on the market right now. And I'll tell you a couple of different ones, and I've got a new one to show you. If your card is reversed, it's screaming for your attention. So it's a card to pay extra attention to. So if it's your strength and it's reversed, it's like really calling for you to recognize that your strength is the fact that you are working on love and letting yourself be loved. Or if it's in your heart, it's screaming for your heart to let love in. And if it's in the challenge, it's like you are avoiding this more ways than you can even realize at this time. And it's screaming for you to really work on um, letting love come in. So it's like a cap blocks, exclamation. It's loud and it's proud. It's really needing you to focus on it. So when a card comes out and you're doing a reading and it is upside down, it's like, whoa, did you see that angel there? It is the angels really calling for you to focus and recognize that there's a really important message in this reading. So let me talk to you about a couple of other things. When you're shuffling cards, especially if an oracle deck is new, it clumps. And when it clumps, sometimes one or more cards jump out. Now, once your angel cards are broken in, the jumpers are few, far, and in between, right? So when you're shuffling, if like one random card flops out of the deck and it lands upside, well, it's a great card. If the card like pops out and it's like, whoa, here we go. A card that jumps out is a card that's jumping for your attention. Like that's basically it. It's an extra special message. An angel of luck and love. And so I always read the jumpers as extra messages from your angels, extra strength, messages that your angels really wanted to bring to your attention. So if one card jumps out, it's a jumper. If two cards jump out, they're jumpers. If you're starting to get 3, 4, 5, 6, the truth is you just need to improve your shuffling skills. Would you say that's fair? So 1, 2, cool. 3, 4, 5, 6, you're not very good at shuffling yet, and you can improve that. Now, when it comes to shuffling, it depends on your, capabilities. Some of my friends are not able to shuffle for, because maybe they can't use both arms or either arms at all. So however you shuffle, make it work for you. I like to just do a nice, easy kind of like I'm playing cards on the balcony on vacation with my family. So I shuffle like that. And some people are, been playing bridge and all sorts of things for years and they can shuffle like that. Whatever one works for you is right. You don't have to do a fancy shuffle. It doesn't have to be fancy. I prefer to make sure all cards are upright and then shuffle accordingly. Now I can see this, and then some other people like to mix the cards on the table. That's also okay. Now, when you're mixing cards on the table, there's going to be a lot more reversed messages that way. And I'm a very linear person. I like to read things from left to right. And I like everything to be upright unless someone turns it upside down unawares to them, because that does happen. And that's when you have a jumper. That's when you have a reversal. So, this is really important to say. So a few little questions are coming in. So is this helping you understand the basics of doing a reading? Strength, heart, challenge, or strength, challenge, or strength. That's, if you just want the basics of doing readings, that's the best things that you need to know. The first card is your strength, or the second card is your challenge if it's 2, and if it's 3, it's your strength, your heart, your challenge. That's the basic things. Now let's talk about getting an answer and getting an answer to a question, because this is the essential things that you really need. And then I'll talk to you about different things with decks and sizes and all the things. So when you're doing a question, I don't recommend saying, Am I going to be rich? Am I going to get married? That's, you know, crazy questions. Tara, just in case or Tara, however you're asking that, a jumper is just a card that jumps out the deck. So, you're shuffling and it pops out. That's a jumper. That's what we call them. So we call them jumpers, screamers, strength, heart, and challenge. So, um, let's go to the questions. If you're asking about a particular situation, you can be like, thank you, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know about. And then it can be my relationship, my career, this job opportunity, um, this friendship, this university course, whatever you're wanting to ask about. So thank you, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know about. And then you can say what the situation is. So my career, my relationship, my daughter, my child, my health situation. And then you pick your cards. The first card will be your strength. The second card will be your challenge. That's the best way to get the answer to a question. So thank you, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know about. And then pick your cards. The first card is your strength. The second card is your challenge. So these are the two things that your angels need you to know about that particular situation. And you can do that every day. You can do it once and be done. So 2 cards is just strength and challenge. I recommend the 2 card spread for clear, concise answers. If you do 2 cards and you still feel like you need to know, you can actually then say with your hand over the cards, I would like to pick a card for my heart, and then pick the card and turn it. You can also do that when you're doing a reading. I'm picking a card for my strength. I'm picking a card for my heart. I'm picking a card for my challenge. You can say it like that. I'm picking a card for my challenge. I need more information. I'm picking another card for my challenge. So the strength is what you've already healed. It's what you have on your side. It's what you've already focused. It's what your angels want to celebrate inside of you. The heart is what the angels are helping you realize what you really need deep within. It's already here. It's something that your heart needs you to know. It needs to be aware of. It's something that's if you can't decide between your head and your heart, the heart card represents what your heart really feels. And the final card is what you have avoided, what you've not healed, what you've not faced. It's often a truth that you need to hear. It's something that needs your action. It needs your focus. It needs your awareness and your attention. That's what the third card represents. So all of that becomes really clear when you tune in. So let's talk about some etiquette to do the reading now. So I'm kind of telling you the information backwards to lead you to the point to get you to do it. Now, I'm going to tell you, and I know that some of you are probably going to have to jump off. So I'm going to tell you about something really cool. By the end of this, I will give you everything that I feel you need to go and be at what I would call competent beginner level angel card reader. Like that's the most important thing that you will get by the end of this. The other thing I wanted to say is if you're really loving this and you really want to go further and take it to the next level, I have launched an amazing live online intensive training based on my Angels and Ancestors Oracle. And we have sold 30% of the spaces already for this training. We're only allowing 500 people to go through um, this training. It's open for enrollment right now, and I will give you a little insight to what it is. It's a 16-hour training with lifetime access. It's going to, the group that goes through this will be the first ever certified angels and ancestors oracle readers. It's something I've only done once in Germany, and I've been desperate to do it in English for so long. And now with the pocket version of the Angels and Ancestors Oracle, I felt really called to do this. And because I'm not traveling as much these days, um, this training is open for enrollment. So I'll just show you it quickly and I'll send you the link. So it's the Certified Angels and Ancestors Oracle Reader Training. It's a live online intensive training with lifetime access. So you can come live or you can come to the recordings. And it's 16 hours. This is what the certificate looks like. I'm so proud of it. It's 16 hours of tuition with lifetime access. As soon as you sign up, there's 8 introduction videos to get you started. Then there's 5 live training sessions with me, a manual, and then access to a private community to connect with other people on the training. Then you also get access to 2 live practice sessions that I host where we see each other on video and we practice doing readings. And then obviously it's a certified training. There's a whole bunch of dates. So it starts on September 28th and the 29th for 3 hours each day. Then we meet on the 26th and 27th of October for 3 hours each day. I think. Yep. Then we have 2 live practice sessions on the 6th and 13th of November. These are optional. And then we have the final ceremony, channeling the ancestors and the angels, which is on the 24th of November. All of the calls are recorded, similar to this workshop with better cameras. And the training is open now. We have a £200 discount on it. Once you join, you have lifetime access to all of the training. It's discounted to $497. It says 25%, but I checked earlier and we've already sold 30. So I will send you more information about that training out. But back to the angel cards and back to this training and back to this workshop. Here's how you do a reading. First of all, when you get behind, and if you look, by the way, if you like this, can you imagine how good the big training is? The most important thing I'll say to you is this: no matter what angel card deck you use, and I have many out there, all of these card decks are mirrors. They are energetic mirrors. And so, if you want an accurate and an insightful reading, it's important never to pick up your cards when you are emotionally overwhelmed. So if you're stressed out, if you're freaking out, if you're going through it, if it's, all happening at once, don't pick up your cards. Your readings are always going to be better when you shower it off. So I always say to people, go for a shower before you pick up your cards. Go for a walk in nature, go to the gym, go to yoga, do some stretching, go for a drive, whatever your, cooling off period is before you pick up your cards. Your reading is always going to be better when you're calm and when you're grounded. So for me, I always find working out, going for a shower, then picking up my cards is always helpful. And I tend to always meditate before that happens. When I'm meditating, and I'm going to do this process with you all, I just really focus on what I'm grateful for, who I'm grateful for, the blessings of my life. Then I invite my angels to draw close. Once I've done that, then I'll ask the angels to reveal to me what I need to know. And it's really important to then listen to what is coming through. So do that before you pick your cards. If you're doing like a high energy thing, you might not be grounded per se, but usually if you're in a higher vibration, like after doing like Kundalini yoga or exercise, you're a higher state, your reading's still going to be much clearer than it would be if you were grounded. So what I'm saying is you need to be in high vibe state or grounded to get a clear reading. So the other thing I should say is if you like alcohol, I recommend not using your angel cards after drinking alcohol. Alcohol is a depressant. It is a low vibration. If you pick up your cards after you've had a few drinks or a few glasses of wine, and I know lots of people love to share angel cards when they're, having a glass of Zinfandel with the friends. But what I will say is your readings will not be accurate. They will often be emotional and not focused. So I never recommend picking cards if you're under the influence of alcohol or anything else that changes your personality. That's really important. So I used to do readings for people in clubs, and when I would do readings for people in clubs and nightclubs and stuff, my readings were always crazy, and people would always, be a bit more emotional if they've had a few drinks, and that's why I always stray away from it these days. So I recommend not engaging in alcohol with this, and see it as a spiritual practice. See it as a spiritual practice. So I recommend any of my angel cards to work with. Yes, a recording will be available for this training. We'll put it on YouTube as well. So there's many different ways to do this. So if you have an angel card set handy, let's do this together. I want you just to have your angel cards handy, and we'll tune in. Bring your feet down to the earth. Sit in a way that feels comfortable for your body. I want you to close your eyes down if that feels comfortable for you, and if not, you can just look down. I want you to still your breath or focus your breath. Long, deep breathing. And with your eyes closed, your breath deep. Switch your smile on and think about someone or something you are grateful for. And as you focus on what you're grateful for, the gratitude you feel, whether you see it or not, generates a golden light in the center of your being that grows brighter, brighter, and brighter. And this light is like a spiritual car wash that begins to wash through the entirety of your physical body and being and into the auric field around you, washing away any fear, darkness, dismay, concern, anxiety, leaving you with light, contentment, and a sense of being connected to something greater. The light that you see or feel is the light that you are. Today you are encouraged and invited to bask in that light. But the light you see and the light you are is not a light alone. There are other forms of light all around you right now, and they are known as angels. There's angels on your left, your right, before you, behind you, above and below you, holding you in a sacred and safe space for you to connect with the wisdom of your soul and the wisdom of heaven. Into the presence of these angels who are with you now, say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, angels, for reminding me of your presence. It feels so good to know you are here. Thank you, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know. I am willing to listen. And let's set a collective intention today that whatever is gained from this coming together, may it be for and towards the greatest good of all beings in the four corners of the world. May whatever blessings we receive be blessings for others too. And we dedicate this merit of this practice to sharing light wherever we go. And as we come together as a collective, we also set this powerful, loving intention that the light that we generate today is light that reaches out to the children and the animals of this planet, and also to those who are marginalized. Thank you, angels, for lifting them up to be seen, heard, helped, loved, and supported. And we see all of this today in the presence of the great Mother Earth below us. Thank you, great Mother, and to the great Father of the sky, that presence we call God. Thank you for allowing us to be one with you. And so it is. And now that you're tuned in, pick up the angel card deck of your choosing and think about the situation that you need support with. And then say, thank you, angels. Pick the cards up, whatever ones you're choosing. Say, thank you, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know about, and say the situation, say what it is. So it could be my career, my relationship, my purpose. And then shuffle the cards. And you're doing a reading for yourself, not for anyone else or about their life without their permission. It has to be for you. And pick 2 cards. The first card is your strength. I'll do one for the collective. I see that request. And the second card is your challenge. So the first card you see is your strength. This is what your angels are bringing to your awareness that you have as a strength. This is the card that your angels see as something as healed in you, something that you've established, something that you have focused. So whatever the message is or whatever it represents, look at the keywords on that card. The message it represents is what you have honed. It's something that you've focused, something that you have healed. The second card is your challenge. It's something that you need to heal. It's something that you need to focus on. It's something that you haven't quite been able to do recently or have been held back with. It's something that you have been avoiding and maybe unintentionally avoiding, but it's something that needs your focus, something that needs your help, something that needs your love, something that needs your light. So I've got two cards for the collective, and this should also act as a demonstration to you as what is possible with the angels and ancestors cards I've picked from. So the strength card for the collective is the shaman card. And this card is the message, trust in higher forces. This card represents your strength, is the fact that you know you are connected to something powerful and something greater. You are connected to a force that you might not be able to see, but a force that you know is greater than you alone. This force is all around you. It's helping you. And the fact that this card is coming up for you today shows that you have connected to this unseen presence of guidance and support that is available to you. You have been on a spiritual journey that is ultimately a spiritual awakening, where you have come to recognize that you are not just who you thought you were, but you are part of and connected to something greater, and that your life is not by mistake, that your life is for a reason. There is a higher, greater force that is keeping you focused and guided and led. And this higher force wants to become a bigger part of your life. You've felt that call to be part of something greater. And by being here in this workshop today, you have responded to that call. And so the power of the higher forces, the strength of your angels is behind you now, and they are so excited to welcome you back, because you are a gifted person. You were born to be a light. Your life is not by mistake. You are here to share the power and the presence of light with everyone you go. And where you are in the world, even though it might not be the easiest of places to be at times, you have been strategically placed by a higher power to bring light, because wherever you are, light is. You are that light. And so you are trusting in those higher forces. Your strength is in those higher forces. Your challenge card. A harmonious resolution is possible. Your challenge is that sometimes you allow yourself to be sucked into anxiety, and anxiety is one of the greatest liars you will ever meet in your life. Anxiety makes you focus on the worst possible outcome rather than what is possible. And so the message today that is coming to you from your angels is that a peaceful, healed resolution is possible for you. If you have found yourself being sucked into the vortex of fear, a peaceful resolution is possible for you. If you have been overwhelmed by the stresses of your well-being, if you feel like things are on hold, a peaceful resolution is available to you. It's possible for you. And so the challenge is not the fact that you can receive peace. The challenge for you is to believe that peace is possible for you. So I want you to know that your angels, your ancestors, and even though these cards depict ancestors from different parts of the world, and they don't represent my ancestry, the message isn't coming from these other ancestors, they're coming from your ancestors. You know, all different peoples are represented in this oracle. Everyone is represented in this oracle. This message isn't coming from anyone else's ancestors but yours. A peaceful resolution is possible for you. We are born in a great time. a time that has more opportunity, more knowledge, more connectivity, and peace is possible for you. So here is the message for the collective today. And hopefully this has helped you unlock how to receive an answer from your cards. So you pick two cards. You say, thank you, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know about, say, the situation. The first card represents your strength. The second card represents your challenge. And even though I was doing this reading for you, this reading was also for me. And so the most exciting thing about angel cards is that when you're doing a reading for someone else, you're also doing a reading for yourself. So I have one last little thing I wanted to say to you before I answer any questions, and of course I'll be talking about my training as well, is that I haven't announced this yet, but in 2 weeks' time, I have a new oracle deck coming out called the Angelic Activations Oracle. And I've not revealed this deck to anyone yet, but I will be revealing it on Instagram tomorrow. And I wanted to show you it because if you are one of those people who sometimes struggle to interpret the card's message, this is a beginner's focused and centered deck that has the message on the back. I've never done it like this before. And so the way this card deck works, you look at the cards and you see what angel is calling you. And once you pick the card that calls to you, you reveal its message. So I've picked this card for the collective today, and it's the Holy Spirit. And I want to read this message to you all, and I hope you receive it as a message for you. The Holy Spirit, miracles are possible. Your ability to experience miracles is down to your capacity to believe that miracles are possible for you. Don't give up hope. A real turnaround is possible now. The light of the angels is surrounding you, inviting you to step into the most gracious and receiving state possible. Open your heart and expect a miraculous solution. You are worthy. Know it. Activation. I am worthy of miracles in all forms. The Holy Spirit. So that's from the Angelic Activations Oracle that is available on Amazon pre-order right now. And just to tell you all, I've been working with a number of different decks today. The cards that I chose to do a reading for the collective is from the Angels and Ancestors Pocket Oracle. I also recently launched the 22 Archangels Oracle. And I have another one coming out next fall as well, and that'll bring me to 11. So there's all different ones for all different types of people. Choose the ones that call out to you. That's the most important thing. The ones that I feel most called to work with at the moment are the Angels and Ancestors, and that's why I've created a big training on them, and it's the most complicated of all decks. So yes, I'd love to now take any questions that you have about angels, angel cards, the training. If you'd like to ask any questions, I'll be here for the next little while. If not, if you have to leave, thank you for being here. Please check out the Certified Angels and Ancestors training. Would love to see you there. And please don't share your own links in here because that's not very fair. I can see people posting links, but that is not welcome. Yes, so if you have any questions about this. Oh, great question. How do you clear your deck? This just came from iPhone user, so I'm not sure your name. Yes, when you if you feel like your cards need a little clean, there's a number of different ways to do it. I like to hold my cards over um, incense. You can use any sort of incense. Oh, it's from Diane Brown in Canada. Yes, so incense is a beautiful way to help you imagine your cards being cleaned. I usually just invite my angels to clear them of any negativity. I know some people like to knock their cards. I personally just like to um, hold them over incense and imagine the incense being light from God and the angels, and it's cleaning the cards of any negativity, any fear. You can also get a crystal. Someone mentioned selenite, like selenite. You can leave selenite on top of the crystals, on the cards or underneath them. Another beautiful crystal would be a tourmaline, a black tourmaline. Is really powerful for absorbing negativity, like this, and you can leave it on top of your cards overnight. So that's a wonderful way to clear your cards. I personally fan my cards out like that, and I imagine the incense coming. So this is that. Someone is asking about the training in dollars. So I am not sure exactly how much the training is. Gee, here we go. It's like $650. Now, I know some people have said that it's exorbitant, which is fair enough. I want to just be really frank with you. Do you know a Zoom license costs $20,000 per year for me to be able to host these live trainings? So as much as that, might seem absorbent to you, I just want to be really honest. I pay $20,000 a year just to be able to host free trainings. So it puts things in perspective. Yes. So I think it's very of value. It's 16 hours of training live with me. The opportunity to ask one-on-one questions, to be in a contained group. We're only putting 500 people through the first ever training. It's the first time I've ever did it. I plan on doing more trainings down the line. It won't be for at least a year. We're going to do it on different decks. So I'm starting with the Angels and Ancestors because it's the deck that sold the most. I think we sold around 350,000 copies worldwide. 290,000 of those are in English. So that's the reason I've went with that. It's the most popular deck. And it's the most complicated one. So it's the one I think really needs a lot of tuition around. So yes, that's the training. What else? Someone says, do you fan your cards out before you pick them? So yes, when I ask the question, then I fan the cards out and I just pick the cards. Some people like to hover their hand over the cards just to feel for energy or warmth, but pick the cards. Personally, I believe that the cards work under the law of attraction. And so no matter how we pick the cards, we're going to pick the cards best aligned to the question and our energy and that's held at that time. So that's how it works for me when I'm doing readings for other people. I encourage them to pick cards quite quickly. The reason for that is I want to spend more time doing a reading than picking. So that's the way it works for that. Let's see. Jessica says, I'm a certified angel guide. I've been using your beautiful decks and methods you taught in your course for my personal reading, but because I get so excited about this subject, I've shared my experiences with some friends. In turn, some have asked me for readings. Here is where I get really confused. I can easily understand the messages for myself, but I can't seem to read for others without context. Do you have any tips? That is a really important thing Jessica, for example, when I'm teaching people to read cards, I teach you to be able to understand every single card in the deck. So when I'm doing the Angels and Ancestors training, we go through each and every 55 cards one by one, looking at its strength, looking at its heart energy, looking at its challenge. And so you really need to learn the deck inside out to be able to put it in context. So that's one step. And then the other thing is, it sounds to me like you might be overcomplicating your readings. So when you're doing a reading for someone, you need to hear the question out loud. And so you need to know the situation that they're asking for. So maybe it's about their career. And so you'll say, pick one card for your strength and one card for your challenge. And you say, okay, this card is for your career today. So your strength in your career is this. And then whatever the card means, your job is to read it. So for example, say I picked this random card from a deck that says Pillar of Service as this person's strength. It would show that in their career, they've got this amazing capability to be of service. It might be being helpful as a colleague, being a good person to be around, being someone who goes the extra mile, someone who over delivers. That's a pillar of service. So it's like being able to put it into context has to happen in the moment. And your goal is to try and tell the story without knowing too much information. And it's something that comes with practice. Sometimes it's harder with your friends than anyone because you might know a little bit about their life. So your goal is to take yourself out of the equation and not be fixated on the outcome. I always found it difficult to do readings for friends because they would often then come back and be like, oh, remember that time you told me about this? Now it's happened. What do I do next? So that's a really important thing to kind of be aware of. So you can be like, I'm speaking to you as a professional today. I'm not your friend in this moment. And say that to yourself out loud and be like, if I was an angel and I was looking at you in your career, here's what I feel this would mean. And then go. How do you clear your cards between readings? I just shuffle them and I believe that they're cleared. That seems to be fine for me. I only had to really like clean my cards twice in my life from really bad readings. Apart from that, they're mostly always clear. I always just imagine the hands of angels on them at all times and clearing them. Is it hard to read for family members as well? It can be if you put pressure on yourself. If you make it a fun experience, no. What is a bad reading? That's a great question. I was dealing with someone who I remember someone who was a professional psychic vampire one time who tried to literally drain the life force out of me when I was doing a reading. So that would be someone who came to prove a point. And it wasn't about them receiving a reading that day. It was them really wanting just to really disturb my energy. So that once happened. And then the other time it happened when I don't want to freak you out, but I was working with someone whose house was very haunted, and the cards became contaminated with that energy, and it took me a minute to clear them. So that happened once as well, but that's the only two times. And now let's be honest here. Most people hear that and kind of get unnerved by it, but I've done probably about 15,000 private one-on-one readings. So it's very, and I've only had it happen twice. So the chances of it happening to you are very low. And if you're doing readings professionally, and hopefully you've been trained by me or someone like me, and so you have that community to speak to about these circumstances and get guidance on it. So that's another benefit of joining a training is you're then in the group and you're in the small group. And then you can ask questions and people can direct you. So the odds of it happening are very, very, very low. Can other people touch your cards? I let people touch mine. I don't let anyone do a reading without my guidance with my deck. I used to let children touch my cards, but I don't let them play with them under without supervision. And I teach people to be respectful when they're touching cards. For me, even though they're just a tool, I like to treat them as a respectful tool, and I treat them with utmost care and respect. So, I don't put them on the floor. If I am, and they're on top of like a scarf or a rug in some way, um, that's really important. I keep them as a sacred tool, and my journey with the sacred has been intensified through my study of yogic culture and Indian studies, because like in Indian world, they don't put their feet on things if they want to be respectful of it. They don't put sacred things on the floor. They don't put pictures of deities on the floor. Like just things like that taught me so much how to build a deeper sense of respect for the cards. Um, you can combine readings with the Akashic records. As part of the Angels and Ancestors Oracle training, we're actually going to speak about how to do past life readings, because this deck can do that. Yes, you can ask for Akashic information. And so someone asked earlier on, what does it mean to be certified? Well, there can, it's not about, it's not like a doctorate from, going to university or anything like that, but it shows others that you've been dedicated to learning an art form inside out, and in particular, this deck from its creator, and allows you to be one step away from being a certified practitioner on my website. If you do two different long trainings with me, you can apply to be a certified practitioner, and that shows that you've done deep delve into the sacred art of healing and reading for others, and be listed on this register, where people can come and find a reader near them. That's one of the things. Now, I'll say this to you. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube to help you go further with all this. For a complete beginner, I recommend the Angel Guide Oracle. If you're a beginner and you want to do a deep dive, Angels and Ancestors will be okay. I will look after you beginners with this deck. This will be fine for beginners. This is a lot of people's first deck. It's fine. It's a complicated deck, but you can learn it. You can start from... It's no more difficult than getting a tarot deck. And a lot of people just get a tarot to begin with. So that's really important. Hopefully I've answered a lot of your questions. Here's the link one more time. If you're watching the replay, it will be underneath this. And yes, I'm really excited to have connected with you all. I'm now going to feed myself and my dogs. It's been really lovely to be with you all. Pick the link one more time. Here you go. Have a beautiful evening. And please, if you're not following me on Instagram, come over there and follow me, because it helps a big, 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 big way. All right, everyone. Lots of love to you all. See you soon. Bye.